Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. The 5th of April had a huge non-farms on Friday, and it looks like the market is extending off of that again today. Also, a couple of big moves in individual issues. GameStop down because they're going to be issuing more shares. Tesla up because they're, I forget what it was. I think they sold more vehicles than expected. Anyways, lots going on. There are some ISMs today. It's a Monday. I don't know. It's I'm a little torn on how I want to play this. Mondays are not necessarily my best days. We got a decent amount of news this week, but we got some stuff to dig into. I think that I want to I have some ideas for some new indicators that and this might be really ambitious. I don't know. We'll see. We got to design it out, so I could really use you guys' help today. Anyways, let's go through the markets and see where we're at. So here's the E-mini. You can see really big non-farms. They did come back a little bit in the overnight session, but, they're extending it up. So it's really good. Note, though, that the stock market wasn't open on Friday, and the futures market was like a shortened session. So we'll come over here to the treasuries. The treasuries just took a dump off of that news, man. Whoo, boy. And they're sitting there at the lows, actually, in the last 30 minutes, going and making a new low. So I think a lot of eyes are going to be on the interest rates. All right. That said, they have bounced back for now as the regular session starts. Oil's still kind of middling in this range as there is divergence between the United States and Europe in terms of handling coronavirus, with Europe and France going into new lockdowns. OPEC holding back, not holding back, but maintaining their cuts. So, those two things kind of balancing out for now, it seems. Gold and silver, they did well past 2 days. No new information there yet, but it looks like they could do well. And copper doing well. Copper doing really well, in fact. And then we got to come over here and we just check the dollar. The dollar actually strengthening off of that non-farms, which would be correct, I guess. More activity in the United States is good for the dollar. Strong dollar, bad for markets. There's still kind of this divergence where it's like people want to move money over to the United States, but we're also devaluing our currency a ton. It's a really interesting and difficult dynamic to watch. So that's basically where we're at. Let me come in here and turn on my text-to-speech. Well, you know what? I'll be right back. I gotta do something. All right, we're back. Come in here to the chat. Jack, Seth, love your Discord. Oh, thank you very much. Are you just talking about the Discord itself, or are you talking about that little thing we did last week? By the way, I should come down in here. We got it. Let's start with that. Open the stage. So I will just open that up so that those of you, if you're just in Discord, you don't want to, well, I mean, I would prefer that you leave the YouTube open and watch on the YouTube, but you can listen to it on the live stream. And that would also give the opportunity to let other people talk. Now, I don't plan on using that too much on regular days, but it will be there. I want to be in there anyways so that we can use it when we have the opportunity, right? Because, you know, we're a pretty tight community, and you know, I definitely, there are times when we're talking back and forth here in YouTube chat, and it would be easier to just let you guys talk, right? And on that note, I think we need to get some Discord overlays. Or do they have an overlay? Overlay. Enable in-game overlay. Toggle overlay lock. We should show it over here. I think that you need to be in a full screen application to make that show up, though. But we could use this. Oh, they got a hold of Discord. The main URL. So it's not Discord app anymore. It's just discord.com. I did see some people pop in. I got messed up on crude oil. I should have taken that long position before I got in the shower. Oi. Axelrad said started early today. No, I start at about 6:20 every day, actually. Maybe I need to be logged in here. Let's see if this will work. It won't let it. Oh, there. This is not updated. That's why. Okay, well, so I'm gonna have to look at that another day. Okay, now. Number 2 thing that I need to do is install NinjaTrader 7 because there is an old indicator that I want to look at here. And in order to do that, I need to download the they don't even show the download for 7 anymore. That's funny. Also, while that's loading, I want to open up one of these jigsaw piece of tape things. So I was wondering, it's not really very clear, but what is the piece of tape actually showing? Is it showing volume? This is what I would like to know. Oh, you know what? I think I screwed up. Well, that's weird. Tesla looks good. Yeah, they delivered 185 vehicles during the first quarter, a record for the company, and more than 10,000 above consensus. That's correct. And then they're going to do 3.5 million shares auto offering in GameStop. My widget over here isn't catching your messages for some reason. I'm gonna restart the text-to-speech section here because something is off big time. It says YouTube ready. There we go. If I was on the board for that company, I would dump my entire position. GameStop? Oh yeah, totally. I totally feel you. I think it's just so mind-boggling to me the number of people that are in this thing and think, "Oh, this is just the greatest stock ever, and I want to buy more and more of it at current levels." I kind of wonder, are these people actually being honest, you know? Or are some of them lying because they think that if they do that, that more people will buy and it will let them out of their position at a profit or something, you know? It's just crazy the way it's been moving, and for anybody to come in and say, "Oh, I want to buy more here," is kind of like, what? See, I think it's volume, but I can't really exactly tell. That might be enough. I don't know. I feel like we could do better. So I want to have something. So let me tell you what I'm thinking about. I want to have something that tells me the amount of volume going through. And I want to see the volume compared to the resting liquidity, which this doesn't do. But I want to see the volume compared to the resting liquidity. So I'm thinking that I could have something like, I don't know, like a meteor or something. Good morning, Uzi. You know, and let's draw a picture. I think you're going to have something like a meter like this. And then on that meter, I could have a line. And the line would be like the resting liquidity. And the meter would be like the buy volume and the sell volume. Uzi says, yeah, you got the pace. I don't think I'm going to keep it up. I'm just looking at it to see what exactly it does. So I'm unsure if this is just volume. I think it's just fun. Wait, what did I say? I think it's just fun. Hi, is there trading today? There could be. There could be. We need a market that's actually moving. Well, we could try taking the treasury on a trend up. I mean, that thing's going up pretty well. I'm not so sure that I want to buy treasuries right now, though. Okay, Uzi says, I went through a phase where I tried to use it. It's a way too short time frame for it to be useful to me. Gotcha. But do you know, is the number that it give you like a volume number? Oh, by the way, there's in the settings. Average time in minutes and look back in seconds. I think it must be volume. If it's volume, then that's good. Yeah, the red, yellow, green is size. The red is the maximum size and look back period. Yes, so I understood that. It was just when you read the documentation, if we were to actually, is it? Oh yeah, it's right here. We come here and you go to the manual and smart gauge base of tape right there. Okay. The scale on the gauge is set based on the recent trading activity for that market. Balance of trade. The imbalance section can cover up to 50%, manipulating the gauge. Yeah. But it doesn't actually say what is trade activity. I guess that means it is volume. The pointer is just what came in real time. But it's not exactly real time, though, is it? It's like over the look back because nothing's going through at the moment, right? But if I changed it so that the POT look back seconds is 5 seconds, then that gives me a good idea of how much volume is coming through. But there's a problem. I want to know, what is it compared to the resting liquidity? So if we're getting 158 volume per second and it's relatively balanced, how many, how far could it potentially actually go within the time period? Interestingly enough, if the whole thing is based on volume numbers, I'm not sure how that's the pace of the tape. Yeah, well, don't worry about that part. Don't worry about that part. So let me back up again. What I want is, here is the buy volume. Here is the sell volume. Here is the total volume. Choo, 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 choo. And here is, like, 1 tick, 2 ticks, 3 ticks, 4 ticks, 5 ticks. Make sense? Make sense? That's what I think I want. Because I'm looking at, we're going to be looking at the co-integration thing again. And so how much volume going through the market would be important, I think. Okay, so make it. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. But there's many questions here. So first question. Let me come back over here and create a new chart. Oh, where's my control center? Sometimes it kind of hiding. It was kind of hiding. So we do it in NinjaTrader. So I got a chart here. It's a 1 minute chart, right? Well, let's go a little more granular. Let's go second. Okay. Second, and we'll go into the data series and we'll just make it the box, I guess. Better brick. No, is box correct? Okay. Oh, I see what's going on. Actually, let's just do a line unclose. Okay. Total volume versus traded volume is important. Market's still killing shorts from Friday intraday who got trapped. Yeah, probably. It looks like a lot of the morning action is like leftovers from Friday, the people that didn't actually get to trade it the way that they wanted to. Okay, so we got this going on, and then we're going to come in and I'm going to do an indicator, and I'm going to say volume. Well, there's the buy sell volume isn't there. What was it? It's up here. Buy sell volume. And we'll add volume overall. Okay. So you get something like that. Now, here's the thing. What does this tell me? This tells me that within the 5 second period that we've had, that last bar, it was 20, it was 100, it was 150, yada, 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 yada. Okay. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is it could be like a rolling average, right? Which I think is what pace of tape is essentially doing, right? It's not saying, it doesn't quantize it. It just says this is the amount of volume that traded in the last 5 seconds or the last 30 seconds or whatever the look back that you put on it, right? So that's the first question. I think, do you guys agree with me that we should have it be like that it should be a rolling, something that rolls and it will like look back. How do I say this? It will keep a record of every order and it will add them together. And so it knows when to drop these ones off and when to get these. I think I can do that every few milliseconds. And I'll have something that will like compute it 10 times a second. I have ADX coded to execute trades if it crosses 25. I don't understand. Okay. But that's a good thought too, is using the amount of trend in the market. Anyways. And then I think that the way that I drew it, what do you guys think about that? I go like this and like this. And then there will be a box that will be the overall volume. And then there will be lines that will be like, this is how many ticks, yada, yada, yada. If anybody has better ideas, I'm open to hearing it. So that's the first thing that I want. Seems solid. Got to make it easily digestible. Yeah, it's got to be something that I can look at and know really quickly what I want to see. which is just, is there a good amount of volume compared to what's on the book? And based on, so that when you see that and you can go, okay, well, there's so much volume coming through that, within 5 seconds, we could potentially move 16 ticks, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, and this one maybe could be a little bit harder, maybe could be a little bit easier, is I really want to see more instruments. So I want to be able to look at, I want to keep my eyes over here and see what the dollar is doing. The dollar's ticking up or down. So I have a chart for the dollar. I don't feel like that the chart is good enough. So then I'm thinking, well, we could do, what is this? There's like the FX board. No, that's not what we want. So there's this sort of a thing. Oh, so for that I don't get that data, so they don't those don't show up correctly. That's funny. Why is it only 4x? It only lets you do it on 4x. That's so weird. Okay. So then there's this market watch bit. I want to remove the jigsaw column thing. I don't want that on here for now. Remove. Okay, so we got some of these last price, net change. MSTR bought even more Bitcoin. This is so ridiculous, right? Okay, so then I'm thinking, what if we had a button? What if we had a button that when you push it, it's like centering the DOM over here, and it will say, okay, I will now tell you where we've moved since the last time you pushed the button. Right? Or we could also do something like, let's open up a new DOM. Like we'll open up an NQ DOM. And this instrument, maybe we don't want anything. You know what I mean? Now, the issue with this one is with NQ, moves too much, but I don't get the dollar from this. And the dollar is one of the things that I'm most interested in. But anyways, the gist of it is I want to see correlations better. Now, that could all depend on what we get through correlation. So let's come back out here and we'll put this to a 1 minute chart. Oh, what is it called? Did I put it in here? No. So let me go find the code for it here. What was the co-integration indicator called? Is it this one? Ah, CADF. This is this right here. Symbol 2. NQ0621. Okay. Are we making a new robot? Potentially, yes. We're going to have to do a bunch of back testing on this and see what we get out of it. Just save that screenshot. And now, I don't know if NinjaTrader can do this. Okay, it's okay. Save it. Gonna close NinjaTrader. And I'm gonna find NinjaTrader 7. Other. I'm just gonna skip this part. Does cannot. It cannot do it. but that's okay. I think I might just have to disconnect the NinjaTrader temporarily. And are we going to get some French auctions here? Apparently. Okay. I guess I have to shut NinjaTrader down while I'm doing that. Aha, it worked. It did work. Okay, so now utilities, import Ninja script. Yes. Tesla is an illegal issue, thus the sell-off? What they're selling now? It just never ends over there, does it? No, I don't want ESO 621. What the? Let's see here. It's been such a long, it's been so many years since I've used NinjaTrader 7 that I'm not even 100% sure how to get the correct instrument in here. That's so freaking hilarious. Do you use the TPO chart? Not really. But a lot of the concepts that I use are gonna translate between them. See, how do you Oh, I see. ES. There we go. Okay, that's actually, I actually kind of like that a little bit better than the new NinjaTrader, but I understand why they did it that way, why they changed it. Okay, good. And indicators, KDIF, symbol 2, NQ 0621. Okay. I don't know if NinjaTrader 8 licensed has it. So it doesn't have the TPO chart, but it has volume profile charts. Why did you turn off the translation? I do it on a one-off basis.
Illa Kopel says, why did you turn off the translation?
But it doesn't do everything at once. And I had my screen, minimized just so that we could, okay, 338, 392, 192. Oh, no, that's just, well, okay, it's a little bit different. Okay. It is correct. It is correct. Yay. Very much yay. Okay. So all of that was just to verify that I ported the indicator over to NinjaTrader 8 correctly. So I did. And I had to hide the screen because I had to put, I had to log in and stuff. I think it's volume. So in NinjaTrader 8, if you've got the license, then the order flow volume profile indicator will become available to you. Now, if you're looking more for straight up TPO, Jigsaw has a built-in TPO that's pretty okay. Good morning. Okay, so for me, next thing is I want to modify this a little bit. I think I just want to change the way that the decal works. Maybe is there one? So I hate how some of them will have the transparency applied to them automatically. Nah, it needs to be one with the smaller numbers. That one's not terrible. That one's terrible. Can't read that at all. See, that one's transparent. That one doesn't have any numbers. I think clean white might have been the best. That one or clean white? Okay. That one. Oh, it detected that I had a NinjaTrader 7 installation. It's like, do you want to migrate that? And I think I got a mosquito bite on my finger. Okay, so now that I got that, let's pull up the same thing, but for the 10-year. Something like that. I'll move this out of the way for now. Actually, I'll close that one. I need to understand a lot more about that particular thing. Now that I know that it works correctly, we can go and learn a little bit about it and do a little bit of back testing on it to see what the best way to use that might be. Yellen urges U.S. allies to adopt global minimum corporate tax rate. Oh boy. Right. I don't know why I didn't just ban him when he said the H at the beginning, but whatever. I had other things on my mind. Oh, and we do got people listening on the live stream in the Discord part, so that's cool. I don't think it gives me a notification if people raise their hands, but I don't plan on utilizing that feature today anyways. Oh man, what's my phone all? Oh boy. Is this something break at work? Oh, no, it's all good. Everything is good. Jack says he doesn't know if he can stomach getting into the ES at the open unless it starts going red. I don't know, man. Like, why would you sell? Like, so let's look at the context. We had a blowout jobs number. Everybody is expecting April and May to possibly have the highest pace of economic activity of our lives. And yeah. They're not going to sell, right? Now, maybe when this is all said and done and it comes out and then we realize that we're overvalued and there's a big correction at the end. But while it's happening, I don't know if you really want to especially since both the treasuries and the E-mini are moving up right now. So the one thing I don't like about this meter that I've got here is that it does not display the bottom part, the instrument name correctly, right? Or it kind of gets cut off. Yeah, that one I can't see it. That is, I guess, okay. The transparencies are so dumb. Oh, my fun. Yeah, Clever's not bad either. Cosmic is a lot of unnecessary space. That one you can't read the instrument name. Flat. Flat would be okay if it actually had stuff around it. Future. That one's terrible. That one's just like not straight up not displaying correctly. That one you can't see the name at all. This one has the, oh no, it's actually different. But the numbers are hard to read. That one you can't see at all. Okay. We're going back to this. Hold on. Now I can't recall which one was best. Clever? Sure. And can you not resize them? Well, that sucks. Saw some volume coming through there in the 10-year. Pushing it up to 131. K is already old news. Hover the mouse at the bottom left corner. Bottom left. Have left correct, right? then right click the empty space. Ooh. Oh, yes, very nice. Make it huge. Well, if I could make it huge, maybe, hey, okay, so hold up. Hold up, maybe I want to go back to one of these other ones. That are wide. Not that one. Meh. The issue is being able to read the instrument to me is... I know that right now it's like a trivial thing, but it kind of really bothers me. See, like that is like just too much for me. As someone who is totally new to futures, how do you derive useful information from looking at the bond markets? So the first thing is that understanding the bond market should be the basis. The bond market is the thing that is like, well, it's not the thing, but it's what I would consider like a primary origin, right? Like a lot of other stuff, the first thing that they're going to look at to determine what they should price their instrument is going to be the interest rates. Okay. A lot of stocks, even the E-mini. So the interest rate affects everything else, right? Then the next thing is there's going to be correlations between the treasury futures and everything else. But what it's going to be is changes depending on the situation. So like right now, if the treasuries are going up, that's good for the equity market because that means lower interest rates and that means that they can maintain their high valuations. Okay. But it's not always like that. It's very often that they're the opposite, that, the economy is growing stronger, so the E-mini is going to go up, but treasuries are going to go down because that means that they need to increase interest rates. You get what I mean? Why do we have the speedometers and dials? I'm just trying I'm trying some ideas. I want to get a better idea of how much volume is coming through the markets. I don't know if this is really the best way to do it, but the inverse correlation part seems complex. Well, it's not so complex because you'll see very clearly it doing it, right? Like, what is it doing right now? They're both going up. And then why would they both be going up? Well, because the interest rates are overextended, I think. And the interest rate coming back up, that's good for the equity markets. And the equity markets were going well anyways. So that sort of a thing. Europe are they off today? I didn't know that. Well, I still think that Clever was the best. Okay, well. Oh, so see. See, I think we could make it way more consolidated, you know? But I don't know what they're using and for all that. It's a little... So about 5 minutes till the market opens here. I got bit on my hand by something, I think, and it just like crazy. Man, those kids are so loud. They've been so quiet for a week. They come back, they're so loud. Good morning, Kyle. Oh, by the way, I was looking at the co-integration thing again, and I was able to confirm that I transferred it over to NinjaTrader 8 correctly. So now I need to learn a little bit more about the process and what it's showing me, how I should try and use it. Yeah, really. Like I think what I would like to do, the thing that I'm thinking about right now is maybe replacing this chart down here with, a watch list, and have that watch list show me the co-integration as well. So basically, I want some way to follow on a tick by tick granular level a bunch of correlations. There's plenty of YouTube videos on it, so he's okay, cool. Yeah, because when I go into the code, like I understand what the code's doing, but there's a lot of there's a library that's working in the background that is doing that's doing all the matrix math. So I don't know how it's actually applying it mathematically. Oh, did you guys get a hold of one of those remotes? What? Is that you doing that? Yeah. Oh. No. He pulled one of them out of the... He pulled the remote out of the box when we were cleaning things. Yeah, he was playing with it, and then we were like, oh, is this the one that Custom Sets like? but they don't. You kind of have to have it pointed at them just right. So the receivers aren't very good. They changed the background color. You didn't get that one though. That one's still yellow.
Yeah, fix the yellow one. I'll find it.
Okay, here we go. Fairly quiet open here to start. I'm not capable of coding this stuff, unfortunately, but I'm not asking you either. Just thought you would love it once you get your hands on a functioning model. Oh, well, but I mean, I wrote it, right? I think I'll go on Futures.io and post the updated code because that was where I originally got it from. So there is a pretty solid amount of volume going through the E-mini at the moment. But some absorption. Wow. Whoa. Whoa. Did you see that huge order show up there? Okay, well, so I'm going to take my target if there is so kind. Thank you, sir. Okay, there you go. Who was it earlier that was like, are we going to trade today? And I was like, we'll see. Well, there you go. They traded and we're done. All done. I've been training my son because my wife went through a period. Well, it's better now, but he still kind of does it. She'll be changing the diaper and he's like trying to wiggle his way out and everything. And I go, no. When you're changing the diaper, you lay on your back and you lay still. And then when I am finished, I go, all done. And he knows. Mm-hmm. There's a sell. Oh, yeah, there's a pretty big order, sell order at 40.50. But did you see that guy stack 900 on the inside bid? I was like, whoa, okay. I don't know if that's the best spot to put an order like that, but okay. Like, we already had some pretty good up move, and the book was already kind of fighting them a little bit, and some absorption, and then some guy comes in with 900 lots. I was like, what? A different location, I'd be all over it, but that one, I was a little like, okay. Okay. Some of the market correlations right now are a little bit. So the dollar is going down still, but treasuries are moving up. So when the treasuries were moving up, at first it was like, well, yeah, of course, because they've got all this move down that, they might just be rebalancing back up, right? But now it's more than rebalancing, I think. I'd say that they had a pretty strong up move in the treasuries for no apparent reason. So the treasuries are moving up and the dollar's moving down. And the E-mini's moving up, of course. Supreme Court sets aside ruling against Trump on Twitter account? Oh, what? So they're not going to rule on it? Fake news. Yeah, we need to wait for the more on that headline, because the headline that Zero Hedge is posting doesn't really explain to me what's going on at all. Need a real story. How much more do you think this will go? I'd say with the degree of autocorrelation that we get in the markets these days and everything, I think there could be plenty more left. Downtick there in the 10-year. Now something we should note about the E-mini is that the volume is pretty healthy two-way action, right? Did you see the 60-minute story on DeSantis and Publix with vaccine distribution? No. What was that? Conveniently dropped on the day anyone over the age of 18 can get a vaccine. What did they do? So like a story about like there's corruption with the vaccines in Florida or something like that. Yahoo Finance says Tesla shares spike. Oh, what's the deal with that? Why is that? Unpin that one. Unpin that one. Okay. Shall we open up Fidelity? Look at Tesla. Why growth stocks could rally from here. That he's giving vaccine to heavy donor areas. It's really quite startling to me how effective the Democrat slander machine has become and how completely absent the Republican machine is at this time. You notice that? Like this whole thing with is this Republican representative? I don't even remember his name. He's not a guy that I ever considered important. I mean, I know he was getting a lot of name and everything, but he was never anybody that I really paid attention to, right? Okay, so then the New York Times story hits, and they're doing an investigation. Gates, it was Matt Gaetz, yes. They're doing an investigation on Matt Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz comes out and says, "Oh no, somebody was trying to extort us, and we're actually doing a sting operation with the FBI on it." So so right away, it's like, I'm not sure. By the way, that 10-year really came back quickly, didn't it? So when it traded down there at 31.00 half, I was like, well, that's kind of a curious shift in volume. I'm really surprised how quickly it's come back. But look, it is ticking around on not a lot of volume. Like the limit orders are not really holding. There's like 2,000 on there pulling every time. So not really the kind of action I want to see if I'm trading the treasury unless I have a really strong directional conviction, right? Anyways, so there's now I'm not saying that proves anything for Matt Gaetz. I'm just saying it's all right away. It's like, okay, this story probably goes deeper than you might think. And there's unproven allegations, and given that he says that there's extortion involved and all this other stuff, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, right? But then what do you see? Day after day after day, another shoe. Oh, this time he paid for, it was just like, it's ridiculous, and they're all unproven. I don't know what's going to happen on it, but you can't. I just refuse. I just can't wrap my head around that being just a random occurrence. No, I think that these were all timed media drops. Like, that's the way that it always works, right? Is you target a politician, you have an initial story come out, and then drip, and it's like big thing until you completely destroy them in the eyes of the public, right? And now, there was a time when Republicans would do that. But in the Trump era, it's like they've been completely decimated for some reason. And they never do that. There's been so many times where a story has come out about a Democrat. And like the Cuomo thing. Like, how is Cuomo not out of office yet? That one ridiculous. That was like a mess. I mean, there was more shoes, but it wasn't organized. It wasn't timed very well. And the media just kind of ignored it. So I find that interesting, and I wonder what is going on over on the Republican like media strategy side, And we knew about the seniors back in late May. Well, yeah, it's like, man, the one about Cuomo. There are so many things on there. I mean, there was like the sexual abuse or sexual assault allegations, but man, they should have removed him a long time ago because of his handling of the pandemic and everything else. And I just can't. And they say it's for helping to donor class. Screw you. There's a Publix on every corner in every neighborhood in Florida, rich and white or poor or black. So give me a break. Well, I don't know. Like for me, it's like, who cares if you get the vaccine? Here's the thing. It's just most of you guys don't need it. Like that's the thing that just is so funny about it, right? See, y'all gonna catch it and you'll be fine. It's the people in the old folks' homes that need it, right? The faster you inoculate the seniors against this, the more lives you're going to save. End of story. That's, as far as I can tell, that is the only thing that matters. And that's why so many of these statistics and everything seem so confusing and bizarre sometimes, because the majority of the population is not really susceptible to it. He says, bottom line, we're kicking butt in vaccine distribution. Well, that's true. Yeah, you saw that. That's another one that's so funny, though, right? Is the reason why the Democrat states did poorly with it was that they said you need to get a second dose. So if you got a first dose, they would reserve a second dose for you. And the places like Florida just said, no, we're just going to give everybody, as many people as will come in and do a first dose, and then you can sign up for your second dose later. But they didn't like hold the vaccine or anything like that. And so over in New York and places, there was like, they were like just straight sitting on them. And Florida just handed them out. And Florida's direction was that? Now that one's kind of weird to me because like, well, I think that there was a little bit of ideological basis for why they did it the way that they did for the Democrats, but it's just kind of funny, right? I'm pretty sure here in Utah I could go and get a vaccine now, but I really don't want to get it just because I've already had it. I don't really see a point in getting the vaccine for me. And they're like, well, you can catch it again. And I'm like, yeah. And then I will, get over it and be just fine again. I'm not going to get it. I'm just going to tell people. I mean, I'm not going to go along and say like, hey, there's something wrong with the vaccine or anything. But I kind of feel like that if I don't have a need to get it, that I might as well not get it. Let the people that were getting it actually saves their lives. Because to me, in my mind, it's like only a risk. Like, even though I think that the risk is very, very small, it's like, well, I'm not going to die from COVID. But there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about the vaccine, because it's a very, very new type of vaccine and it doesn't have a whole lot of, clinical data compared to past vaccines. Well, I don't think that anybody in Florida believes those, is going to read those reports and be like, oh, we got to get rid of DeSantis because he distributed the vaccine improperly. That's the one that's like when he's running for president, they're going to try and hit him with it on the debate and he's just going to smack him down and own him with it. Yeah. Okay, so we did have the PMIs, by the way, while I was yapping. And they were all slightly above the estimate. We do have the ISM numbers coming in now at the top of the hour. Those ones we're going to want to pay a little bit more attention to. ISM non-manufacturing PMI 58.5 is the reading that we're looking for. A good amount of volume coming through in the E-mini. We're still trading, See, I like this. It doesn't tell me the exact number. So this is where we're going to change. Oh, are Democrats? Well, if you think Florida people are stupid, wait till you see our Democrats. What do you mean you hope he gets stopped out? I think it's going to go right through him. I think it's going to come up. They're going to buy 1,300 contracts from him, and it's going to go, whoop, bloop, come back. If he gets stopped at that price, well, it'll probably go through him. I don't know what you mean by stopped out. Like, he's going to get filled. He's going to get filled, and those orders in the E-mini as of late have been real orders. That people don't mess with that anymore. Oh, by the way, we never came in here and talked about, okay, so Tesla is up 6%. So you were saying Tesla down because of legal issues or something, but look at that. Woo! Back to 700. It's pretty hard for them to move it away from that. Now, that means ARK must be up big time too, right? 2.225, yeah. Actually, GameStop is like the only thing out, and Sumo Logic. Come on, Sumo Logic has just been doing terrible. I think this one is so funny because let me tell you what. They have such a good product. I can't say for sure, like, is the stock going to go up or down or any of that stuff. All I know is that I really like their product. It's like the one thing that I do in monitoring that just works and works well. And they have a really good business model too. You know, like they rope you in basically. They have a good way of roping you in and getting you to fully commit to it. So my company is not one that is like all in on spending a ton of money every month on a service like that. You know what I mean? So they got that. And then their earnings came out and they didn't like the growth wasn't as high as people wanted. And so ever since then, it's been like this hated stock and it's down right now. But it's okay. You would just wait another quarter or two and it will come back up. I think. But that's just, I only believe that because I really like the company. Google up 2.7%. By the way, that's a lot for a guy like Apple or Google. Apple is up 1.6. I was kind of hoping that maybe I would get something here in the 10-year, but that's just not enough volume, you know? Maybe it could have done something between 29 and 29.5, but let's come back here. One more thing I want to check. We got rid of the market analyzer thing, right? I think we did. There's also this market watch. Right. Suppose we could do it like that. How does it? Properties. What the hell? So not a lot of customization on the market watch. Now I think I'm going to try building an analyzer window thing. See if I can build a button into the market analyzer. That should be fun. Says that you're enjoying the live stream from Brazil. Hey, you're not the only one. Kyle is from Brazil too. But you say they're surprisingly correlated with the indexes that you trade down in Brazil. That's interesting. Well, the interest rate complex for the whole world kind of tends to trade together. So, but you might be able to look at, bond futures for Brazil in specifically, and that might be even more useful, right? Well, they've been chilling here up above 48 for a while. A couple of people getting out probably ahead of that big order. deciding, yeah, I'll just take my profits here. Still 5 minutes to the top of the hour, too. Let's see here. Kyle says, dollar trading here in Brazil relies heavily in credit swaps. So when yields go up, in the U.S., our currency gets weaker as dollar flows out of here. Oh. So on this divergence between YM and NQ went in opposite directions 15 minutes ago. I can't any stock that could produce this. Oh, I don't know. Well, so I do see the NQ. So I think what's happening, Fernando, is just that the NQ looks really strong today. So one thing is going to be that Tesla is doing really well today, right? I think that because of the context and everything, also the treasury yields kind of backing off a little bit here, although they're still high compared to where they were last week, right? I think that the growth names are just outperforming a little bit. So this is where, again, like I need better watch list. So here you see the Dow Jones up spot 8.4, the Nasdaq spot 2.1, the Russell spot 5. So the small caps are still underperforming. So it's big cap tech names like Amazon and Google and Apple that seem to be doing the best right now, and that helps the NQ more. And YM doesn't have those in them at all, right? So I think that that's probably what that's about. Did I? I never opened one up. Okay, so let's bring back up a market analyzer. But what is a hot list analyzer? Huh. That must be something. That must just be for stocks. The dollar is getting creamed here, man. So there they are, that 40.50, eating away at him. I'm gonna remove the JT connection and template save as default. Okay. We want RUT, right? No, that's not that. That's not right. Russell 2000 RTY. There you go. Okay. That doesn't give the Bitcoin one correctly. Here comes the news. Okay, so we got higher than expected. Hold on a second. I'm waiting for it to pop through Twitter. Okay, 63.7 versus 58.5. So good number. Look, 3,000 traded there at 40.50. They did do kind of what we said. They'll slip through and then come back, but we could still go higher. Ooh, look at that. So was that just some like profit taking on the news? This is a little interesting. Then will it show me the VWAP? Guess not. Well, I can see the dollar's still down. Kyle says dollar's still bullish despite that. Well, so they tried going back up through 40.50, but it's holding for now. Apparently, that ISM number was the highest on record, according to Rick Santelli. Higher PMI would strengthen the dollar because of inflation fears driving yields higher, right? But they're still bearish. I don't know about that. So I think that manufacturing, well, so first of all, it was the number that they're looking at is non-manufacturing PMI, which is going to include services, right? So I think that their general read off of that is they're saying there's more business occurring in the United States, and therefore people will buy dollars so that they can do business in the United States, is I think what they're saying, right? At this exact moment, and that's why the dollar's going down. No, wait. No, I said that's what I would think that it would be doing. So that should make the dollar go up, but it's not. So if it's going down, then they must be going off of that perhaps inflation fears. Well, the treasuries didn't really move dramatically on that. They did move up on it, though, especially the short end of the curve. Oh, but the treasuries moved up on that. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on, but like let's let them, let's just let them sort it out a little bit, Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a whale sitting at 40.50. Well, they've already hit him a couple of times, so like they pushed through it before the news, and then they came back down through, and it showed the order show back up again. So it really interesting. Also, I'm noticing, by the way, Bitcoin was. Oh no, wait, are they down again? They're down again. Oh, that's interesting. The Bitcoin, we didn't talk about Bitcoin, but Bitcoin did finally get above 60K, and it looked like maybe it was finally acting as support. Then they dipped back down hard again. Okay, Zero Hedge tweets from the ISM number. Commodities are up in price, everything except personal protective equipment. Oh. I could get used to this thicker, slower. Yes, I could too. Like, the thing is with the way that it's been moving lately, yeah, there's a lot of absorption at every level, and there's a lot of volume compared to the resting liquidity, and I think that gives us a really good read in terms of, when we can take a trade and stuff. So I'm really happy about that. I wish that my old treasury could come back and we could have actual real volume come through the treasuries every once in a while, but it's been pretty slow this whole day. Okay. By the way, the 6J is just whoosh. Maybe it's because of the commodities. If it's because of the commodities, I think that other countries probably benefit from that more than the United States do, right? I'm not that happy about ES because as a profile trader, I get blind in references once it pushes to historical highs. Right. So here's where, again, I would just caution. Remember that just because a price was important before doesn't mean that it's still important. I've never been able to sort out any kind of statistical, that says that this is one particular price means something. But what can we sort out from the volume profile? Well, we can kind of sort out locations where absorption and liquidity holes occurred in the past. Now, that doesn't predict where they're going to happen in the future, but it does give you a better idea of where we're at right now, right? So because we know that there was a big order at 40.50, we know why this area occurred, right? It wasn't a hole, it was just filling a large order is why there was so much trade through this area right here, and hence very little trade through that as well. So that gives us the current state of the market, and then we can probably surmise that if we were to trade through 47, there would be a hole. But can we turn on the upside and we can say that there'd be a hole at, past 40.52 or 40.53? Well, I think it doesn't matter because we should just wait and watch the order flow and see when it happens. That just kind of gives us places to anticipate, but you don't really want to take something off of it until it straight up happens, right? And meanwhile, we can kind of keep our eye on all of the correlations and stuff to determine, sort out what's going on in the markets. So I can see NQ still doing pretty well. RTY down 1.5%. So do I see that over here in Fidelity too? Why is RUT? Oh, probably because they're using the open from the over. Yeah, okay. So it seems to me that since RTY is down, that they are concerned that increased commodity prices are going to hurt small businesses, right? Smaller companies, rather. I think that that's what the market is trying to say. Oil is down at the moment too. Maybe kind of moved down since that news. Supreme Court overturns Oracle's copyright win over Google. Oh, really? I think I have to go to Reddit Politics and see what all of the Supreme Court decisions that were handed down were. Have you ever watched some flow events like absorption being pretty equal in magnitude, but some are followed by a pretty big move and some aren't? Have you ever wondered why? Well, I think that in most instances we're kind of looking at, well, so what would you consider to be a big move? Like, you talking about like we get absorption up here at 40.51 and it's like 3,000 and then all of a sudden it turns down and it's just down all day from there? See, here's what I think is going on in the overall markets, okay? Technicals, which is information derived from the market, can only tell you about the current status of the market, what the market is doing in that particular instant. Now, are there inefficiencies where you can use technical information to predict what is going to happen in the future? There are certainly technical setups that lead to things happening, yes, but in every technical reading that I've ever looked at, there is always a case where if it is predictive of something, you will see it happen a lot, and it was only actually predictive of the thing happening sometimes, right? It'll be like this thing happens, but only 5% of the time does it lead to the big move. So what's really going on? There is a dynamic that occurs in the markets that is leading to that behavior, but there is so much noise, and it is impossible for you to separate the noise from the situation where it really matters, right? So we can kind of account for that, right? We can look at a bunch of different technicals to try and filter it better, or even better, we can use news to try and filter it, which I think is the best one. You want to use something that the robots will have a hard time using to arbitrage it away from you, right? But ultimately, I think that trying to predict the future off of a purely technical signal is kind of a crapshoot in the end. And so we want to try and rely on different things, right? So if we come in and we say technical analysis since the 80s has been arbitraged away, and market making since the end of the 2000s essentially has been arbitraged away, then where do we go from there? And kind of the thinking that I've been having today is, well, one way of doing it is swinging it. It's to take advantage of changes in the market where there's like time frame discontinuity, where what one time frame wants to do is different from what the other time frame wants to do. So like everybody wants to buy right now. That's just, but there's in the short term time frame, they're dealing with those big orders, right? So for you as a swing trader, this is probably, well, I mean, it's already going now, but probably a good opportunity to continue buying it, because you're going to be thinking, yeah, but who cares about the big order at 40.50? We're about to see the strongest positive market action of our lives. Okay, so there is some slipperiness around 40.54, which is kind of where we said, you know, if they move a certain amount, you might see it. Well, we did see it. I wouldn't necessarily be able to predict that every time. It was just a guess, okay? I was just lucky. All right. Anyways, so that's one way of doing it. I think that the other way of doing it would be finding very, very small inefficiencies that are, so small that the algorithms can't really justify taking advantage of them, but you as a retail trader can. And those don't necessarily require you to do something predictive. You just have to sit down and say, there's a mispricing here, and take, 4 ticks or something. There's our sweeper friend again. Yeah. Did you see the way that they did it too? Sweep and sweep. That flow was so strong in volume that bids and offers pulled both times. Yes, I agree. There's something with understanding the different time frame impacts. This is a big part of what Dalton goes on and on about. Yeah, because the gist of it is that different time frames can create market, midterm market mispricings on both time frames, right? So you get like if you're like Friday, perfect example. Friday news comes out, jobs number significantly better than expected. It was something like a 1.5 times the estimate, right? So at that very moment now, you know for sure, like this is a buy. Like you can pretty much surmise that the market is going to buy off of that, especially when you look at positioning and everything. It was like they were long, but they weren't that long. I don't know. I guess there was a lot of people putting bets on it further up, right? But anyways, on a long-term basis, you have a pretty good idea that they're going to go up to like the next level. Like I think that 4,100 is a pretty reasonable target at this point. And I've seen, and I'm not the only person pointing that number out, right? A number of big Wall Street analysts have moved their estimates up to 4,100, right? But there on that day, you're going to know there's going to be things like a liquidity pocket's going to form, and they go up and they come back down and all of these sorts of things. The market is not able to price something as significant as the jobs numbers being 1.5 times the consensus estimate that was already really high. It cannot price that in instantly. So you, on a short time frame, can take it for a swing and make money off of that, right? Time frame discontinuity. And that's kind of what I've been taking advantage of. But I think that the issue with the way that I've been trading it is that I am not able to truly swing it. I only want to trade it for 2.5 hours or 3 hours. And I very often, just far too often, get out before the whole thing is done. And I haven't been able to find a very good edge to tell me how far these things are going to go, So that's kind of made me think, okay, maybe let's I've always kind of focused on the small mispricings, but now I'm thinking, let's see if we can execute those small mispricings a little bit better. That's why I'm in here today thinking, okay, let's try the space of tape. Let's try getting a better market analyzer up with a better watch list. Makes sense, yeah. So I'm curious what you think about this, Mike. I've got so Mike was talking to me the other day about kind of arbitrage stuff. I got like the pace of tape. It does appear to me that the pace of tape is like the amount of volume going through at the moment. I don't like it. I don't like it very much. So I'm thinking I could make something like this. And I think I want to make it a horizontal one. I think it'll be like this. It'll be, here's your window. Here's your window. And then this will be the max that we've ever seen since it's been open. Okay. And this will be the current rolling volume. And it'll be rolling volume. It'll be like for the last 5 seconds, or were the number of orders, which means that every 10 milliseconds, it's updating over and over and over again and removing, summing up a list and, adding stuff to the front of it and taking stuff out of the back. I don't know if I can do that efficiently. I have to go and look at what they do for that sort of stuff. But, okay, I digress. And then in here, I will have a buy one and a sell one. All right. And these will all have numbers. This will have a straight up number in it. It'll tell me the exact number. And then we can put this number down here, let's say. Okay. And then I'm thinking that I will have lines that will correspond to the amount of buying, the current market level 2. So it'll be like this on each one of these. Right? And maybe those will be labeled with numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that, right? Oh, maybe I put these numbers down at the bottom over here so that those things don't get screwed up. But that way I can see how much volume is going through compared to the book. Live action says how far we go. Something that gives a nebulous idea is the amount of initial volume in previous order blocks with major balances in focus. Have you tested tick strike? I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, Mike says, sounds interesting. Some relative basis could be useful here, i.e. typical volume in this period. Yeah, so then extending off of that, I think that you want to do something like this is like a 5-second one, and then show another one that is like, this is like a 5-minute one, right? And furthermore, you could try applying filters to it, like you could make it kind of more like an audio, what do you call it? An audio meter, where there's kind of like, there's the peak, but then there's also, one that's kind of smooth or whatever, to give you a better idea of like what the sustained volume is compared to just the highest, right? So that's all of that. And then I'm thinking that for the watch list part, so we come in here, I just have last price and daily volume. I think that I could add a column that would just be change in the last X seconds or whatever, right? But then I think I could make another one that would like add a button somewhere so that when you click the button, it will set a point, and then in that column it will tell you what the net change has been since the last time you pressed it, so that you get something kind of similar to resetting all of the DOMs over here, but giving more space so I can follow a lot more stuff instead of having to have a DOM up on everything. And like the net change up or down could be like in ticks, maybe. And I will have to do something to make it so that I can see the dollar. I don't think that I can add the dollar in just as an instrument, but I can probably do something funky. I don't know. Seth, you know basically what we were talking about here. A future scanner. All the stock guys have this, and no one has built this for futures. Oh, yeah, sure. You're talking about you just want something to search for certain properties. Well, so here's the thing, is that we've made some indicators, for instance, where you can come in and you can say, okay, are we up or down on the day? Are we up or down on the hour? Right? And then it will color it differently based off of that. Because I personally don't think that a scanner really makes sense for futures, because there's only so many, right? I haven't added them all in here on this list, but so what else do we need? We need gold, GC. We need we got the 6E, the 6J. Oh, we need YM. Bitcoin can be at the bottom of the currencies. We need Kappa. Definitely need Kappa. Which is HG, right? Kappa futures. Right. I don't know. A trade floor or activity scanner, I think, could be useful. Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm saying is that I think the way for us to do that is we code up the specific conditions that we're looking for and just add it as a column on the market analyzer. And then you set conditionals to color it a certain way when you're getting a positive signal. And then you would know which, you would see it visually. But since we're only monitoring like 24 things, you don't need like a scanner per se. You can just watch all 24 all the time. Makes sense. Cool. So the question is just like, which things do we want to go and add? So the first thing that I want is a relative change, so that it will, when I click the button, it will mark everything, and we can see what the relative change is from that point. That's the first one. So I will work on that, and I will go out and see what kind of market analyzer columns we've got. I also need to talk to John. I haven't seen him for a few days, but I bet you that he probably has seen a couple of things on his analyzer. So, oh yes, that's right. I need to end early. I forgot. But I don't remember what time it was. Well, we're gonna have to start ending the stream a little bit earlier. I think we just got to end it before the top of the hour. Oh man, what a mess. So I'm missing something. The baby must have unplugged it and pulled it somewhere. So I'm gonna have to go look. I feel like having a guest on. I think I'm just gonna stop. You should come on tomorrow. But I think for now it's time for me to quit. Already caught a little bit. Probably could have been in there much longer. Of course. When did I get out? I just took my target 44. Oh my gosh. I got it at 44? Really? Well, obviously could have let that one run by. How long are you going to let that? That's the problem, right? It's like, how far do you go? I have to know like what the size of the meta order is. Anyways, there's a way to analyze that too. I think it just requires a lot more work. So I am going to get going, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable.